Transforming Lives, Learning for Lifelong Knowledge and Improvement. Video 5, Backwards Design, a Hypothetical Mathematics Example. Recall at the end of Video 1, we introduced backwards design to create PLOs, CLOs, and learning experiences. In Video 3, we looked at the backwards design process and its components. To recap, I don't remember attending all these conferences. Starting with the goals of the college mission, vision, values, equity pledge, and institutional learning outcomes, we work backward toward the learning objectives and course content, creating PLOs, CLOs, and learning experiences that bridge learning and teaching. Let's look at an educational example using mathematics. For our educational examples, on the learning side of the educational house live our college mission, vision, and ILOs. Recall, we looked at these back in Video 3. On the teaching side of the house, we have the course content and learning objectives. For this example, we are using intermediate algebra. I want to remind you that your teaching will remain much as it is. Our focus here is identifying, articulating, messaging, and measuring the lifelong learning, the skills, habits, values, and traits that are being imparted along with the discipline content. We'll start by reviewing the ILOs. Which of these naturally align with the study of mathematics? What competencies and literacies naturally, or need to, develop as students learn math? Note that we don't need to align with every ILO, we just need to use those ILOs that best fit our discipline. Critical thinking happens all the time in math. While it is not often emphasized, mathematics is a language, so communication fits too. While it may not seem natural at first, personal responsibility is a big deal, particularly to maximize student success. Let's pick that one for this example. Let's treat this as a game. Not quite as fun as beer pong, but hopefully a little less splashy. To win the game, we need to create a PLO and CLO on the learning side and learning experiences in the middle that connect to the learning objectives on the teaching side. This connects the ILO responsibility on the learning achievable side back to our learning objectives on the teaching intentional side. To start the game, we need to build our PLOs. As we saw in our real-world healthy living example in Video 4, we need PLOs to be sub-goals of the ILO responsibility. I'm no dummy, but my mind is pretty empty right now. Even Homer Simpson always has, at minimum, beer and donuts on the brain. I've got nothing. I don't like this game. I'm taking my learning objectives and going home. Recall back in Video 3, as we studied the college mission, vision, values, and equity statements, we considered questions regarding our students and what we wanted them to look or be like when they left our college. Let's revisit those questions. With respect to responsibility, what should students be like or look like when they leave your course's program or pathway? What wouldn't students get that they need if your courses were no longer part of a given award or pathway? Also, what did students lack that they needed when they entered your course, program, or pathway? I really don't like this game now. The only things on my mind right now are beer pong and donuts. I'm taking my learning objectives and my course content and going home. What I need to play this game are statements of positive general attributes possessed by the responsible student. Where am I going to get those? Oh, let me guess. We'll use habits of mind. Wow, I walked right into that one. I need to get a pocket protector. Here are the habits of mind: persisting, managing impulsivity, listening with understanding and empathy, thinking flexibly, thinking about thinking, metacognition, striving for accuracy, questioning and posing problems, applying past knowledge to new situations, thinking and communicating with clarity and precision, gathering data through all senses, creating, imagining, innovating, responding with wonderment and awe, taking responsible risks, finding humor, thinking interdependently, and remaining open to continuous learning. Which of these habits of mind could serve as a PLO? Which ones would be sub-goals of responsibility but would need multiple courses to be fully developed? How about persisting or persist? As a student, the more math classes you take, the harder each gets, and the more tempting it becomes to give up on your educational goal. Being responsible includes finishing what you start. Just being able to stick it out, doing what it takes to complete each class, would be a huge step in the right direction when it comes to student success in the algebra, pre-calculus, calculus sequence. I know you are getting sick of hearing me say this, but in future videos, we will look at additional ILOs, choosing PLOs and CLOs that align with each ILO. We will discuss ways to determine which habits of mind should be PLOs and which should be CLOs. To keep this video focused and short, let's now choose a CLO that aligns with the responsibility ILO and the persist PLO. Which of these habits of mind can serve as a CLO for our ILO and PLO? Which could serve as a sub-goal of our persist PLO? Let's try manage impulsivity. While this habit of mind could serve as a PLO too, in that it could be increased over several courses, it is important that students learn this skill quickly and as fully as possible if they want to persist in their mathematics sequence. The actual CLO statement will be, the student will manage impulsivity. Having taught math for over 20 years, I've heard numerous stories from students who, when they can't make progress with their homework, eat even though they aren't hungry, or vacuum the same floor for the third time that day, or play video games just to forget their frustration. This impulsive behavior needs to be substituted with constructive, productive behavior. We need to provide learning experiences that offer opportunities for good choices, so students spend less time in learning limbo, thus improving their persistence, responsibility, and success. If the student manages impulsivity, our CLO, he or she will continue to persist, our PLO, displaying and learning responsible behavior, our ILO. Using your experience and expertise to start with the right ILO for your discipline, you will be able to find and align your PLO and CLO too. To finish and win the game, we need learning experiences that bridge learning and teaching, delivering the course content, fulfilling the course objectives, and imparting the CLO managing impulsivity. It is the more difficult content and more challenging course objectives that demand persistence for student success. In this course, solving absolute value inequalities is an example. So specifically, we need learning experiences that deliver solving absolute value inequalities, a topic that will tempt many students to eat, clean, and play instead of finishing their homework, a temptation that will be overcome if they successfully manage their impulsivity. We must supply experiences that transform frustration and wasted study time into continual progress, ensuring students learn the discipline and become more responsible. How about opportunities to learn time management, take initiative, and stay engaged? Most students won't initially see improving these skills or adopting these habits as remedies for their math woes, so we need to articulate and message them, and have students measure their progress themselves. But once they see these skills, habits, values, and traits improve their performance in math class, they will naturally begin to apply them in other courses, in life, and throughout their lives. As noted at the end of video 1, creating or organizing existing learning experiences like these will likely be a challenge and are a topic for later videos. But once we have these experiences that are designed to run parallel to our course content and that will be engaged by students mostly outside of class meetings, we will have articulated and messaged the lifelong knowledge, skills, habits, values, and traits our students need for continuous employment and self-awareness. We will be delivering education that's truly transformative. To measure this learning, we will need rubrics that students can use and understand. You guessed it, more in later videos. Hello? Hello? I don't feel like I won anything. The game is over? That was a stupid game, and I really didn't want to play it to begin with. I like the idea that course content will be a vehicle for lifelong knowledge, the skills, habits, values, and traits that students will use forever after they can't remember the course content or the course name, number, or me for that matter. But the hard work will be finding CLOs and PLOs that align with the ILOs for my discipline and creating learning experiences and rubrics. Okay, I get it. This video was an educational example of backwards design, but we need to move on to the tough stuff if you want to keep my interest. Wow! Someone needs to watch video 4 again, this time with a focus on mental health. In conclusion, let's follow the backwards design forward to see what will happen when the intermediate algebra student encounters solving absolute value inequalities during the class. The plan is in place. The CLOs, along with the rubrics, were in the syllabus and given to the student on the first day of class. There have been weekly, brief discussions, 5 to 10 minutes per week, regarding the CLOs and rubric, including examples of course content as it is encountered in class that students typically find challenging. The students have been engaged in bi-weekly discussion forums to update their self-reported CLO progress utilizing the rubric themselves. Solving absolute value inequalities is presented in class. The instructor shares that the concept is a difficult one and emphasizes that the learning experiences should be practiced, once again, before the next class meeting. Note that the course content feeds into the learning objectives, which in turn are fed through the learning experiences. But the learning experiences not only deliver the course content, they impart the CLO managing impulsivity. That is, as time management, initiative, and engagement are practiced before the class meets again, impulsivity is minimized. And as impulsivity is managed, persistence grows and the responsibility competency increases. Ultimately, this leads to achievement of the college vision and realization of the college mission. That's all for now. And yes, we will now tackle the tougher stuff beginning with video 6. Thanks for watching. For more videos, visit the Transforming Lives channel.